Hey guys, I'm coming to you with another video, another download. It's not even a download, just my memory for real. So it just hit my mind. Stuff that my family didn't want to listen to me about. I already had told them this is what was happening. And they just shook their heads. Some church members would listen. And even if my mom went to the church member, if the church member even went to my mother, which I learned to stop saying anything because she told me if I keep saying something, it doesn't matter if I keep saying anything, no one's going to listen. It was true. No one listened, right? So, hey, I don't care if I'm not even talking to somebody. I could be talking to myself. Matter of fact, God already knows. So, God, I guess you're going to hear this again. God already saw it anyway. So, it don't even really matter at this point. I just want to talk about it now. And who want to listen, get ready. So, listen. My narcissistic mom, right? When I was a child, she had this idea that she was better than everybody because she worked, and people that had food stamps and had Section 8, they was nothing. And she didn't feed us, right? And she would always put money in church, and me and my brothers would be hungry all the time, and it used to feel so bad. And I'm so sorry that my brother also had to deal with that. And he used to ask me why she treated like that. I didn't really have an answer, but I don't know if he got locked in the closet or not. I never asked him. And when I told him about me getting locked in the closet, he approached my mother, and then he tried to come back and say, it was just quiet time, which she told me it was quiet time too. Anyway, we're gonna move on because people want to justify things, and it's clearly problems that other people are having. And I'm just gonna say this kindly. So with love and peace, honey, because we're gonna be delivered today. Anyway, let's move on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm always playing. It's easier to get it through like this. So listen. And so my mom wasn't feeding us, right? And she tried to perpetrate like as if she was. So she would invite church members over, and when church members come over, they'll notice that, we don't have no food. And I already let them know, but then she didn't want to get exposed, so she started buying food when the church members come over. And then we in church, she'll put all her money in church, and we home hungry. Refrigerator be empty. I remember my brother eating a piece of cabbage. He ate a cabbage sandwich. And I told him, don't do that, but he was real hungry. He had to. And I understand why he had to. And I really feel sorry. That's what really kind of like, that vision never goes away. It always reappears of watching my brother so hungry that he decided to eat a cabbage sandwich. And that cabbage was in there for a while. And if anybody know, cabbage can be in the refrigerator for quite a while. And once the leaves start dying off, I would say, that first layer, then you can see the next layer because the other layer is kind of dried out. So my brother already peeled that part off, and I happened to listen to what he was doing. It was a big crunch, and it was cabbage. It wasn't lettuce, it was cabbage. Anyway, we're gonna move on. And so children are going through this today, y'all. So stop it. And if you think it's funny, that's on you. You gonna get your karma anyway. It ain't for me. So that's just an example. So my mom, when she came home, she noticed that the cabbage was used, and she wanted to know what happened. So she used to take us to the store, and she treated me like I'm supposed to be responsible for my brother. And if he eat too much, we're gonna pay for that. Because she won't put no food in the refrigerator. And it was my responsibility to make sure he don't eat all the hot food out of her house. And because she paying for everything, and ain't nobody helping her take care of us, and she ain't ask for us, and she ain't want us, and we got to do what she say when she say it, and we can't move unless she say move, because you'll get punched in your chest, honey, you can't breathe. Okay. And then you got, and then a cry come out later. That's abuse, people. Y'all need to check that shit. It's called abuse. So let's move on. So anyway, so she wasn't, what did she do? So she would actually come in the house with food, right? She would come in the house with food and go upstairs in her room. Who knows? She wasn't like, we never had no plants in that house, so who knows what she fed the food to? I don't know. I'm assuming she ain't throw it out the window. I don't know, but it ain't come to us. And my brother asked me, well, what's happening? What's going on? I'd be like, don't pay us no mind. We still playing our game, playing Mario Brothers, eating, just chilling. And we couldn't eat unless she said we could eat. And if we did, like I said, it was my responsibility for him all the time anyway. She didn't ever check her child, get a child. It was always, I got to get her child. It was always my responsibility for her child. It was always me. I'm responsible for her child. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm also responsible for how much food get eaten in the house. And if too much food eaten in the house, is my responsibility, and it's my fault because it's all eaten. And she's working hard. She got her cash. And, and if y'all want to keep on eating up all the food, and if you keep letting him eat, I'm not buying food all the time. And y'all going to learn how to not eat all my food. And she wouldn't buy food for us, but she would literally show us that she's capable of buying food, walk past us, go upstairs, close the door, and not talk to us. And sometimes she wouldn't even speak, honey. And we still talking about food or what? Which one we talking about? Because it was a lot I said. Now, let me get back to the point. Yeah, this chick would walk past us and not speak. And even some people, the parents would say, give me a minute. No. This was everyday routine. We didn't talk to her. She couldn't talk to us until she decided to come back downstairs. And when she decided to come downstairs is where we can eat. Because we had to ask her if it was okay. And there wasn't nothing in the refrigerator anyway. So we was sent to my aunt's house because my aunt has food stamps. And she was sending us to our aunt's house down the street from my mom's house. And she said, well, y'all need to go over there and spend their food stamps because they don't work anyway. So you need to go to their house if y'all want to eat all the time. So I told my father what was going on, right? Mind you, my father was a crackhead. He not anymore, but he was. And during this time, he wasn't really that, you know, that particular parent to have. So but I'm not going to sit up here in front. This is what he did. My father was high shit, but he still brought over something to eat. He brought over treats. He brought those hot dog treats. He brought over some Murray Steak House stuff. He brought oodles and noodles. He brought Kool-Aid. He brought sugar. He even brought the jug to put it in. He even he said it for a while, and he sat there and ate with us and everything. And we had a good time, man. My father was the best for that because he didn't come over for a while, and I was begging. And I don't know why he came, but this time he actually came because I'm used to my father like saying he gonna come, and he'll come like Tuesday, and he said that like 3 Tuesdays ago, and it was like would I say that? You sure? My life, yo, is for real. So anyway, so my mom, she had this church friend, mind you, and she had this church friend come over, and she had this church friend go around, and mind you, the stuff was there for a day, just a day, and the next day she brought the friend over, and she actually said something about the stuff being there, and it was cool, right? And me and my brother was cool. We was eating. I was monitoring the food, making sure it didn't get eaten pretty fast, and I was really responsible. I feel like I was a child, by the way. I wasn't even in high school yet. And this is a time where she moved somebody in from church, and my father did bring over paper plates and plastic plates because, that's why he brought over paper plates and plastic plates, because I told him she was burning me with water, and he said, why is she doing it? I said, because I was washing the dishes, and she told me that she put her finger in the water and told me the water wasn't warm enough, and I said, well, you know, it doesn't matter because the dishes is clean, so what difference does it make? Mind you, I'm transitioning from grandma's house to her house, transitioning, and that's what I said. And I'm moving from grandma's house to her house, and I'm used to moving back and forth, but I'm getting taught a totally different way over grandma's house. And when I go back to my mom's house, which I don't live there, I'm over there because my grandmother probably, she said sometimes she had to go to some sort of seminar, or, you know, with foster children, if you the state of the Maryland, or the state of the, if you awarded the state, you can't just take these kids wherever you want to. No. And I learned that from living with my grandmother in foster care and not having but I wasn't registered. I was just there. I was hiding out. I wasn't hiding out on purpose. I didn't want to do it, but I felt like this is where I can eat at all the time. I won't get left in malls all the time. I won't get raped over here. I will get fed over here. And somebody, even though my grandmother wasn't that loving, because she probably, I think she narky too, because she made me the golden child. Honey, she had me playing pianos. I was cute. I was in church. I was the acolyte. I was doing the communion. I was playing the piano. Did I say that already? Yeah, anyway. But my grandmother had me real uppity, honey. Okay, so I loved it. I loved it being over there. But then it was more reality, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to live in foster care with her. I mean, with her and the children. I couldn't call her, I don't want to say her name, because this is supposed to be me and God's work. So I used to call her real name because I wasn't allowed to call her grandma, because it wasn't a part of the setup and me standing there, because I wasn't awarded a state. And when the social workers came over, I had to go somewhere else. I couldn't let them know that I was there. Anyway, let's go back to the food. I mean, me getting burnt by the water. So she burnt me with the water, and I already used to live in my grandma's house. My grandma didn't play. When you at her house, and I understand, you make your bed up, you wear a duster, you don't walk around her house with shoes you already had on. And I was allowed to, my grandmother told me how to clean up the house anyway, vacuum, hang up curtains. Like really, we didn't even have a microwave around this time. My grandma was still warming stuff in the oven with a black pan. So it was a celebration when we got a microwave at grandma's house. She had one first, by the way. So she burnt my finger. My mom she forced my hand under the hot water and told me that this is how hot the water need to be next time you want to wash dishes in her house. And then she walked away. That was abusive like hell. So I told everybody about this. Everybody said, well, you know about your mom. You know your mom. That was abusive. I strongly thought it was. So anyway, let's move on. I thought it was real mean. So with these people she brought over, right? The next day with the food, she threw the shit away. I was appalled. I couldn't believe, I didn't even know what that word meant by then, but I felt that shit. Because I couldn't believe she threw this shit away. But I also thought about, she locked me in closets. She didn't do nothing about this older cousin doing anything about me. We wound up in a shelter for a while. We wound up at grandma's house, and then we wound up back, at my grandma, my great-grandmother, she owned a house on Oliver Street, and we lived there for, well, my mom lived there for decades anyway. So my grandmother gave her the house. Long story short, point is that this house, my mom actually made me sleep on a couch because she said that call from God told her to put her child on the couch because she had to do a mission for God, and God told her that I need to sleep on the couch for however long I have to, because she got to move these people in from church, and they need a home, and she know what it feels like to be homeless because she was living in a shelter. That's not how this works, guys. You're supposed to sweep around your own front door first. You're supposed to take care of your own goddamn house. You're supposed to get your stuff together first before you can help anybody else. And what you don't do is sacrifice your children just in a child. That's not even how God works. You don't sacrifice your kids for some recognition. That's silly. That's personal. That's ego. Check that shit, people. Check it. Check. So anyway, so she threw the shit away, right? And and because it said Coors Light or Bud Light, it was one of those beer cups. My father drank beer, so he brought us beer cups, and he wanted to. I thought that even though he was crackhead at the time, for some reason he actually brought us all this stuff, and he bought cups in plastic plates that said Coors Light or Bud Light, maybe both of them. She said this is demonized, so she got to throw everything away, and she don't deal with ghetto stuff, so it's not allowed in her house. Everything in here ghetto. So she was fronting for this bitch, and who she made me sleep on the couch. And I told my grandmother about it, and my grandmother told her she was wrong because, again, when I stayed with my grandmother, everybody had their own room. Even though I had to move around a lot because it was a big house on Beaumont, but everybody had their own room, and that was the way that was. That's what I learned when I went to the seminars with my grandmother when she decided she wanted to be a foster parent. I was there the whole damn time. I don't forget nothing. So anyway, let's move on. So she did that. I slept on the couch because my mom told me to, because she said she was going, she's fighting demons and she helping God by putting me on the couch, and I need to help because that's how I can hurry up and get to heaven. And with her, if I go ahead and sleep on the couch and do this favor for her. So yeah, that's what happened. So yeah, the burning that was crazy. I'm only looking down because it's just amazing. I just cannot. I'm just trying to. Oh, goodness. Oh yeah, she did slap me because the carpet wasn't in the pattern that she wanted. You got to go up and then go back down, then go back up, then go back down. Now, I didn't know this until she slapped the shit out of me and I hit the floor. And I asked her, what is she doing? Why are you doing this to me? And she says, well, you need to know better. This is not how you vacuum a floor. And I said, what are you talking about? There's no lint on the floor. What are you talking about? I already know better because I live with my grandmother. And I just came back over around this time. And I'm already used to doing these chores anyway because I'm used to it. My grandmother taking me to Montgomery Ward's, hoe, and Kmart's. Okay, we baking cakes in the house now. So I'm over here with grandma drinking ocean spray. Ho, what you mean? You slapped me for? I don't get in trouble for cleaning up at her house. So we hanging up curtains, we mopping floors. Man, what are you talking about? We putting on perfume that we pushed the button over here. We got foxes on our shoulders. This chicken tripping. So she says that she need to have these patterns on the floor, and if you don't put the patterns on the floor, that you're doing it incorrectly, and that's what she expects. And if you don't do it right, just and next time next time if you don't do it right, next time it's gonna be worse. I couldn't get that out because it was because whatever I did and whatever I didn't do, whatever my brother did, I got in trouble for. And whatever I didn't do that he didn't do, did I just say that? I got in trouble for. I got in trouble for everything. Even if I was quiet, I was in trouble. It didn't matter. I was in trouble. Matter of fact, I actually didn't eat most of the time when she brought food because I thought she would like me more if I didn't eat all her food. That is so funny. So at the end of the day, I mean, I got more stories, guys. I mean, for the most part, I'm a little tired right now, and please forgive me. I'm not tired of talking about it. I'm just exhausted with thinking about it right now, and it never goes away. Trust me. I probably repeat it, and don't get mad at me because I'm repeating something that you don't want to hear, ho. And maybe you need to hear it so you can help somebody else. It ain't my fault that you a fucking asshole and you don't want to help nobody, and you can hear that you can help somebody. You heard it, and you do nothing. Now, if you want to do nothing, just go mind your raggedy ass business and don't do nothing then. Oh my God, people. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody. I hope this shed light for somebody. I just want to share a experience about my mom with her narcissistic personality disorder and what I dealt with when I was a child. Oh yeah, hold on. I mean, I'm gonna stay tuned because I'm gonna definitely tell y'all about the story when my mom left us at the mall and why she decided to leave us at the mall, and also why she decided to send me to the daycare center for my aunt. She never came, by the way, but she sent me to the daycare center to do my aunt a favor. And then I asked my grandma to come get me because I didn't like the way they would treat me. So anyway, make a long story short, what else? Trying to remember. I mean, I don't have to remember. I mean, I don't remember anything, but I just know that I don't need to. I mean, me writing it down is easier for me to remember, but I can go back and forth, back and forth. I don't gotta explain shit to y'all. Fuck y'all anyway. If you don't believe me, you think I care? You think I care? You think I really care if you don't believe me? Nobody believed me for like 40 years. And I was getting abused for damn near, what? I think I got away from these hoes around, maybe I finally like really got away when I was like maybe 25 or something like that. I decided that I'm just never going to come back. But I did come back on the strength of me buying a house and my mortgage. No, it was my rent. I didn't want to pay for the year, so I stayed there for 2 months, and that was horrible. Well, you know what? I should have stayed in the hotel. But see, gotta learn. These narkies stay being narky. I'm out.